Hey YouTube, welcome back to New Rock City. I'm your host Stephen Moss,
Hi YouTube, I'm your co-host Lauren Tiz. Welcome.
and each week at New Rock City we bring you a brand new band, we interview them and play some of their music. This week we have a band from Seattle, Washington called College Radio. So guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
What up?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for being here.
First thing I just wanted to do is just have you guys introduce yourselves and say what you do in the band.
Well, first, I'm Gordon. I sing and I play guitar.
I'm Evan. I play bass and I sing a couple of songs.
Right on. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you joining us. I actually wanted to say a funny story because how Gordon, you and I started talking was really pretty funny. So normally when people reach out to me, they're like, "Hey, I'm so and so, and my band is so and so. You know, we'd like to come on the show." But that's not how you did it. Gordon, you reached out to me on one of my posts, and you were just like, "Hey, you guys should have college radio on the show." So I was like, "All right, I'll reach out to the band." So I sent the email to the band's email, the Gmail, and I just said, "Hey, one of my viewers asked if you guys would be interested in being on the show." And I got a response back saying, "Yeah, definitely." So I went back to Facebook to Gordon and was like, "Hey man, good news. The band said they'd be on the show." and then I was like, "So if you have any questions you'd like to ask the band, let me know and I'll ask them for you." And then it was at that point that I'm like, "Let me look at this guy's profile, see who I'm talking to." And then that's when I realized that you were the singer of the band. So I got to give you props. That was awesome. You totally got me on that one.
Very creative. I like
Well, I'm
None of it
barred.
was
I feel like
technically a lie.
So
it's one of those where like our marketing strategy is always very interesting because you have to it's the internet, on Facebook. It's like, hey, check out our band, because we
right,
can't really
yeah.
go out and play a show right now, or I can't hand out flyers and get physically like up close with people. So I've been just getting internetly close to people or whatnot, if that makes sense.
It's
Hopefully I don't
coming
bug
super
people.
soon though, man. Did you see the news in our state and get the vaccine April 18th?
Oh, you're
So,
getting
like,
it soon.
shows
Nice.
everyone can get the vaccine after April 16th.
Oh, finally. Well, see,
Nice.
we were gonna go get it actually this weekend,
Oh, very
but
cool.
Oh,
because
yeah?
I got a tetanus shot last Monday, I have to wait 14 days before I can get another vaccine.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
which is smart. I mean, I don't want to turn into some crazy like robot monster.
that might be cool though.
Give me those microchips, man. I want to be able to shred guitar in my body.
There you go. Cyberpunk 2077 right here. So I wanted to ask you guys, how did you guys end up meeting?
Oh, this is a good one. This is one of my favorite ones, to be honest. So, myself and Evan, we were playing a Halloween show, 2018,
Okay.
College Radio, and Evan also plays and sings in this awesome band called Midnight Movie. You should check them out. And it just so happens that they were opening a show we were doing with Young Culture and Home Safe. And what's really fun is in the
And Keep
other
Flying.
room. Oh, and Keep Flying.
Oh, Keep Flying
Oh,
is going to
sorry.
be on the show soon. That's
Oh shit, they're so fun, dude.
Oh, nice.
New
Oh,
record's
yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
good too. But
Okay, sorry.
Counterparts
Yeah.
and Straight from the Path were playing in the bigger room of the venue out here. And well, my I happened to drink a little bit. Our bass player was leaving the band, and I was like, "Hey, you want to play bass in our band too?" And I mean, the rest is kind of history now.
Right on.
Yeah, I was stoked. It was fun. Like I enjoyed their set, so it's like, yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
Nice. So you were already a fan before he asked you, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember telling my guys, I was like, hey, the college radio guys are gonna be here. Like, be cool to them. They get really good bookings and they're pretty
Nice.
good. So like let's foster that contact, okay? And I guess we did.
And the rest was history. Right on.
Yeah.
So when I was doing some research for the interview, I came across something pretty cool. That was pretty funny. It said because of the band name, you guys used to get people sending you like demos of their band because they thought you were an actual college radio station. Does that still happen?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Every day.
That is hilarious.
Whether it be because we both have notifications on the Facebook, and Evan will see it quite a bit. Like people,
Mhm.
like, honestly, it's more on the Facebook now than the Instagram anymore. Because I feel like now our Instagram is, if you go to it, you can kind of tell that it's not a college radio station. But in the beginning, that was the biggest one. I'd get at least 10, 15, 20 messages a day. Hey, here's our this and this. Can you please play us? And then I would be like, cool stuff. You should read our bio. And they'd be like, why? Why do I have to read your bio? I was like, no, it's part of it. You have to read the bio. And then they go back and then they either don't reply or they reply saying sorry, or they reply like, oh, well, I mean, you guys are pretty good. And then that's all you hear.
That's pretty funny. I think
That's why Gordon's in charge of those, because I would just be like, yeah, we played it and we got a lot of calls. People hated it. People were
that's what
not
I was gonna say. I
into
think
you.
my personality, I'd go along with it and have some fun with it.
I'd mess with them.
Yeah.
I would.
There's I mean, for a little bit, you play with them for, kind of fuck around with them a little bit, but then it got kind of old. I'm just like, I need to start asking them weird ass questions. So why did you do this in your song? What?
Last episode, we had a band on called Television Supervision.
Oh,
And-
our boys.
And I mentioned how they were written in an article from the AP that was entitled 50 Rising Pop Punk Bands That You Need to Hear from Every State. And Television Supervision was picked for the band of Florida. You guys were also in that article, and you guys were picked for Washington State. That's a pretty cool thing. How did that come about for you guys?
We just got kind of lucky. There was someone doing some PR stuff on Facebook looking
Mhm.
for bands, and she kind of was asking for Washington bands, and somebody posted us, and I noticed that, I after they kind of put our name in there, oh yeah, we're from Washington, and then lo and behold, like a couple months later, we actually were on it. We totally forgot. Like it was
Oh,
one of
wow.
those where like I was scrolling through it and I was like, God damn, that's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
That was a really fun surprise.
That's rad. I love the television boys. Like we talk actually quite a bit. We kind of do this thing where they'll be on a podcast and then we'll be on a podcast, or we'll be on a podcast and them.
Oh,
'Cause,
nice.
We were talking with our boys in a High School Never Ends podcast, and they brought up the same thing too. And they're like, oh, like you guys kind of fit well with this television superstar band. I'm like, oh, so that kind of sparked it all there. So eventually we're gonna get together and we'll do television radio.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Really? That would be cool. You got to
Uh,
support each other,
Yeah.
especially now. With COVID, it's tough. So
There's a light now at the end of the tunnel finally.
Yes.
yeah.
I know some of the venues here in Jersey, they've already starting to open up with like limited capacity and things. So it's getting there. It's starting, which is good news.
Yeah.
That's what's happening out here. We will be doing one here. It's kind of like, think of I actually just said it quite a bit now. It's like think of the Copacabana, think of like Frank Sinatra, how he's playing a show, everyone's
Mhm.
sitting down at tables. That's kind of what it's looking like right now. So like the first couple, there's really only one venue that's really running shows safe, and that's kind of what they're doing, where it's like
You just kind of sit at your
Tables.
table. Yeah.
Yeah.
like trying to figure out ways to get people to how can we get them to hype up at a table to can you hit the table? Are they gonna get in trouble if they hit the table? Like
Because like I've
Can they
gone
mosh
to a
around?
show set up like this before. This is not a new thing. I've gone to a show where you just sit at a table and you quietly are like, yes. And it's
Hmm.
jazz concert. Like it's not new. We're just gonna have to like bring it down to that jazz level. And frankly, I don't care to.
Well,
Oh.
I think at this point, everyone would be happy to do it just to hear some live music again. Because
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
we-
impression we're getting. People are desperate to get
Yeah.
out and see some
Yeah.
jams.
Exactly.
It's been a long time.
Too long. Like we went from having we literally like 2020 we started it off so strong, and we were like so hyped. We had all these things, and then just like we literally played a show the day that they decided they were gonna just stop everything. Like the day that everything went on lockdown, we played a show the day before.
Oh wow.
And it sucked because like we had promoted, and then it's like, oh shit, nobody wanted to come out at that point. So it was like we had maybe 50 people tops, not even
Oh.
maybe like 30 people. and that was
Yeah.
still like it just felt really bad. You're like, oh crap. And then the next day everyone's starting to have to wear masks full time.
Yeah.
Well, it was before anyone really knew it was happening. So I remember talking to our drummer at the time, our old drummer Cody, and he's like, "Yeah, my something about like, oh, I know someone that works for the government, and they know that the state's about to lock down." Like it was still really kind of conspiratorial. No one knew what was actually happening. We just knew like something was up.
Same here. I think that same thing happened here where, we all heard something right before the lockdown happened. It was a little scary.
Yeah,
It
so
was.
it was just not really pushing the vibe we were looking for our last show going into
It
COVID.
was like smacks. What?
Well, I know for a while it got pretty creepy here. We live about 10 miles from New York City, so it's normally super congested, and I think it was around March or April, I can't remember now, but like it was dead. And at that point I was still working, and normally it takes me about 45 minutes one way to get to work. But there was so many people that staying at home that I went to work and back home in 57 minutes.
Dude,
I'm like, whoa, it was like a ghost town, man. It was so creepy.
I
Surreal.
remember that because I
That's what I
was,
miss.
I mean, I was and still am. I work in downtown Seattle,
Hmm.
and I take the train and walk to work. And I just remember walking through completely empty streets, all the businesses, not just closed, a
Wow.
lot of them were boarded up because we had those kick-ass riots going on. So just walking through just a wasteland, it was so creepy. But the fun thing is, I felt totally okay to sing out loud to my music walking down the street like a crazy person.
But now the traffic's back, and it sucks.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Same here.
Traffic's back now.
Just to keep it, I just wanted to keep it in the vein of Seattle,
Yeah.
which I just wanted to say that I think should be the music capital of the U.S. Fuck you,
Oh,
Nashville.
yeah.
But
I like
Yeah,
Nashville. I like Nashville.
sorry,
I always
some
sorry,
love,
not
there's some love.
sorry, not sorry, Nashville. But
100%.
so like right now, what's the music scene like there? Is it totally dead now? Is it starting to come back?
It's not completely dead, and it never. I mean, it did completely die. To be honest, it really did. But it's internally, everyone that is trying to stay relevant, anybody that is on top of their game, have stayed on top of their game, and it's really cool. I love the content a lot of people has created. Bands like the Home Team, another like really kick butt pop punk band, rock band. They created all this new content, a Patreon, so it's really fun watching their stuff. A band called Avoid, they're another one. They're one that did this really cool live stream. Drag Dunder did one at the same place, another band out here. And we're just like right behind them, trying to do our same thing. We're just doing the live stream stuff.
Yeah,
Doing as many
we've done a
podcasts we
bunch of
can.
those.
Well,
So
when
I-
people think of Seattle, they just still kind of think of grunge. Does that pose a challenge, like starting a pop punk band, trying to make it in like under that shadow, or is that not an issue?
Sort of. Yeah, I do feel like we catch a little bit of flack in Seattle that we wouldn't necessarily be subject to in, say, like Orange County or something like that. For like, earnestly, like, yeah, we're having fun. It's fun pop punk. And it's like, that's not so much there, usually they're like, if you're going to be that fun and happy, it has to be cloaked in like 6 layers of irony.
It's true.
And we just kind of, ours is a little more, earnestly just like fun goofballs. And it's not that we stick out. I think that we stand out for that basically around here.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool.
It's like
That,
having fun.
that can be used as an advantage for you then, standing out like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anytime we try to be any grungy, it just turns into still pop punk.
Gotcha.
No, it just turns into Weezer now.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
like,
we do
let's
have
slow
some
down and really
grungier.
rock out.
Well, I didn't mean that as a derogatory thing because I love grunge. Obviously, you see my Nirvana
Oh, yeah.
flag. But I just mean that's a hell of a shadow, dude. I mean, Nirvana was world changing, and I think Seattle is always going to be known for that. So I kind of wondered how difficult that would be to try to get out of that shadow.
I mean, like, what's really neat is bands like MXPX and Amber Pacific sort of helped pave. And then if you go, I'm trying to think, Acceptance is another one who kind of helped did that for us in a way, if that makes sense, to where they proved that, oh shoot, like there's other bands than like say Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Nevermore as a metal band, and that whole scene too.
Gotcha.
I've really always associated Seattle with Death Cab for Cutie, really, in terms of like a real Seattle presence on the national scene. I know they're from Bellingham. Shut the fuck up. It's a Seattle band to me.
What about Modest Mouse?
Yeah, I'll give that to you. Whatever, man.
But it's messed up. They're a Bellingham band. They're not a Seattle band either.
Because there was whatever that college is up there. I don't know what one that is.
Man, we were supposed to play out there. We owe you, Bellingham. We'll be out there.
Yeah, we're coming to you. One day someone's going to tell me what the name of that college is, and we'll go there.
Leave it in the comments, YouTube.
Yeah. So I wanted to play a song from you guys. We talked about the AP article that you guys were in, and in that article, it really highlighted the song "I Used to Get Messed Up." So I also wanted
that
to.
one.
You might have had a little something to do with that, I think.
How was that?
What can you tell us about that song?
So I wrote that song several years ago, actually for my other band, but they were like, "This is too punk for us."
Really?
And I was like, yeah, and I was like, fair enough. So I just put it in my little pocket. And after I joined college radio, like a few months in, I was like, "Hey, can I show you guys something?" And I grabbed my acoustic guitar and banged it out. And Gordon was like, "Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah."
That's cool.
Cool. It works. I love that song.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But it's about me, about how it's not about the fact that I don't drink, because I don't drink alcohol because I'm just terrible at it. It's just about the conversation that I've had to have like a million times with people who are like, "Oh, so I heard you're not drinking. What's up with that?" And it's just like, I used to get messed up. Now I don't. There's really not much more to it, man.
Gotcha.
Like if I was any good at drinking, I'd still be doing it. It sucks.
All right. So here is "I Used to Get Messed Up" by College Radio.
I used to get messed up till I could barely breathe. I used to get messed up until I couldn't speak. Used to get messed up like you would not believe. I used to get messed up. I used to get messed up. I used to stay out late when I could stay awake. Don't know how I got home when I could not see straight. I used to get so sick, maybe I imagined it. It doesn't really matter anyway. Hey. It gets so hard to explain, so I just say I used to get messed up till I could barely breathe. I used to get messed up until I couldn't speak. Used to get messed up like you would not believe. I used to get messed up. I used to get messed up. Hey. Wanted to call you up, tell you I'm doing fine. I haven't talked to you, don't feel like such a long time. Sometimes I think that all we had in common is we both believe in the same lies. It gets so hard to explain, so I just say I used to get messed up till I could barely breathe. I used to get messed up until I couldn't speak. Used to get messed up like you would not believe. I used to get messed up. I used to get messed up.
Then I thought that you thought that I did something weird.
Now that I look back, you probably didn't even notice me. I used to get messed up till I could barely breathe. I used to get messed up until I couldn't speak. Used to get messed up like you would not believe. I used to get messed up. I used to get messed up. I used to get messed up until I couldn't sing. I used to get messed up till it was everything. I used to get messed up a lot worse than the thing. I used to get messed up. I used to get messed up.
and welcome back to the show, guys. I found a really funny story when I was looking you guys up, and it was about a time you guys were on a radio station. You were being interviewed, and the radio
Oh.
station played the wrong song and dropped a few F-bombs. Can you relate that story for the people at home?
When I send when Shine On has a cuss word in it, and usually I send 2 versions, and it just happens to be this time around where when I sent the 2 versions, you couldn't tell the difference, and he just kind of selected that one in it. We're just going through it, and it's funny because right before that he's talking about like at least we're not going to hear the F-bomb, blah blah blah, and then literally just you're hearing the song and all of a sudden you hear the what's the fucking point. You're just kind of like, oh crap. And he's like, well, at least it's it's already done with, and then I say it again. So
Yeah, that was
you get
the
2
worst.
F-bombs.
He's looking at us really unhappy, and we have to be like, "There's another one coming up. You're gonna want to be a bit sorry, man."
That's hilarious. Speaking of the radio, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say they played it again, and this time we were good though.
Okay.
No F-bombs.
This is very dorky of me, but up until recently, I don't put cuss words in my songs just
Really?
to avoid any kind of dorky
Wow.
unpleasantness like that. I know it is not very punk, but I've certainly avoided this thing before.
Well, I'm sure that was awkward and funny at the same time, though.
Oh, it was a blast.
Oh, love it.
Speaking of the radio, you guys are actually played in multiple radio stations in different countries. So I wanted to ask, do you remember the first time you heard your song on the radio, and what was that like for you?
Gordon,
It was
you wanna
pretty
take
groovy. It was pretty groovy. Just especially out here in Seattle, like KISW, they've been around forever. They've been supporting local scene since Nirvana and then some, I believe, if I'm not
Wow.
mistaken. And just everybody there, Kevin and everybody that works for KISW is freaking awesome. We get really lucky with 107. Our friend David, he's helped us out over there too a little bit. I really hope I said the right name. Boy.
Everyone at 1077, we love you. 1077 the end, Entercom stations, Sinclair Media, we love you so much. Please play our cuss word free music all the time.
Please. Play our new single. But that's fun, man. Like, Evan, what about you? What's the first time?
I get so dorkishly excited. Every time it's a new station that plays our music, I actually film my radio.
Oh, that's cool.
Like with my phone, I take a video of it so you can see. It says like 10. Oh God, I'm blanking on the call sign. KISW is that 199.9,
Yeah.
right, Gordon?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
999.
But so I have like a series of videos of just a radio playing a song, and it's super tinny, and I know they're really dorky, but they're my
That's
little
awesome.
keepsakes.
Hey, I think
get
that's cool.
extremely excited.
I'm
That's
very
awesome.
sentimental, so I would probably do something very similar.
I would do the same probably too. Yeah.
Well, it's like when we first got played on Punk on the Rocks over in Camden-ish area in the UK. That was another one where I was like, oh man,
Oh.
like I had to I pretty much took a video of my phone to show the guys like, oh yeah, I think they actually are talking about us, because they told us that they played you last and we kind of talked about you. So it's like, oh shoot, we get to hear them talk about us and we get to hear that cool UK accent. So I was like, guys, check
And-
this out.
It was so nice. What was the lady? She's like, it's like Blink-182, but better. Or some crap like that, dude.
Yes, it's fun, man. Like we played in Australia a couple times. Like it's like, oh man, I'm glad you guys like the music. It's at least good enough. It's good enough to play on the radio. I'll take it. And
Nice.
not just college radio. It's good enough for all radio.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm stoked that anyone's hearing our music anywhere. That is 100% for me.
That's cool. Well, I want to take this time to play another song from you guys. Can you tell us about the song Untitled?
Yeah, it's the song's very dark if you really think about it, or if you take a peek at the lyrics. So I wrote this song about suicide, but in the most positive way. Hence, like the lyrics, wake up. And And honestly, the song itself started as an acoustic song,
Oh, really?
and then I brought it to our old drummer Cody, and he goes, "Can we play this? Like, can we jam this?" Oh, okay, yeah, let's try it as a full band song, and then it just kind of took off and did its own thing. It's one of those weird ones too, where like our new drummer Mike, he's like, "Man, I love how you do it's 3 times instead of 4 times, because usually if you write something you do it 4 times.
Mhm.
3 is weird. You never do 3. You do 2 sometimes, but never 3. So it's become a weird college radio thing to play something 3 times instead of 4, and this song kind of does that.
Oh, nice. Was that the song that started the 3?
I think this song started, honestly, I did it because it just felt right. It's one of those where
Gotcha.
I'm just like, oh, this sounds good. I want to play it. I don't want to play it 4 times. I don't want to play it twice. I want to play it 3 times.
Very cool. All right, so here is Untitled by College Radio.
Wander out on the sidewalk, shouting out to what I needed. No response or objective. We're lost in uncertainty. Always telling myself to wake up, wake up, wake up from this nightmare. And I said, wake up, wake up from this nightmare, this nightmare. Holy Ghost is non-existent in a life that's so persistent. Look at your life so wasted. God damn, it's overrated. Stumbled out on the sidewalk, can't figure out what I needed. Close your eyes, don't expect it. We're lost in uncertainty. Always telling myself to give it up now, 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 give it up now. We're lost in uncertainty. Always telling myself to wake up, wake up, wake up from this nightmare. And I said, wake up, wake up, wake up from this nightmare. And I said, wake up, wake up, wake up from this nightmare. And I said, wake me up when you finally get home. Wake me up from this darkness that can't live. Wake me up when you finally get home. Wake me up from this darkness that can't let go.
And welcome back to the show, guys. Last August, you played a live stream called the Northwest Talent Spotlight. And I
Yes.
was super impressed watching that because you guys had the energy like a packed house concert, but because of COVID, it was like empty. So I wanted to know, how were you able to get so much energy into that show under those circumstances?
We watched a bunch before we went out and did our first one. And the one thing I noticed is just a lot of bands in the local scene, a lot of bands had this nervous vibe in a weird way. And that kind of like took away from their performance.
Gotcha.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I don't care if I'm playing in front of one person or like a million people, I am still getting nervous regardless. But that like hyping yourself up and just pretending, it's you kind of got to do it. I told the guys the way it's set up, let's go into this like we're on TRL
Gotcha.
and we're playing live on TRL. Carson Daly's about to walk out and it's just going to be a blast. But you substitute some people and it's not Carson Daly and it's not MTV, but it was Northwest Talent Spotlight. And they're just super fun. Like I think what really helped is how professional the setup was too, because it was some of the
Gotcha.
people that worked for Good Morning Portland, because it was in Vancouver, Washington,
Oh,
which
that's
is
cool.
closer to the border of Oregon and whatnot. And it's one of those too. It's like we're musicians. We played in front of nobody before. I'll admit
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah, I would say I've been preparing for that for my entire career. I would say I specialize in it, in fact. Yeah, they were a super duper professional outfit. There were probably 8 guys in there with us, and like we were kind of uniquely poised to have a really good high energy set because unlike a lot of their sets, we got to have our openers. We got to have All Hype open for us, and like they bring the hype. I mean, they really picked the name well. So like we just got to see a fun concert, and
Gotcha.
then we just got to throw on our Hawaiian shirts, and it's not college radio if we're just standing around flat-footed. That's not how we do things. I mean, Gordon acts the same way in practice too. He's still spinning around and jumping and yelling and stuff. It's we don't turn it off.
That's awesome.
It's hard to shut it off.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well,
because you're having fun, man.
Yeah, we're
from
genuinely
watching it,
into it.
I just thought, holy crap, if these guys put that kind of, energy and that kind of 100% into, like an empty room, I can't imagine like seeing your live shows with a full crowd. That's got to be incredible.
Oh,
So,
Oh yeah.
very
I can't
I
impressive.
can say objectively, I can say that we are a blast.
we started last year off with one of those. Like we played our first
Yeah.
as the lineup we were sold out show with Classic Crime and Assuming We Survive and our buddies and Pretty Awkward, and it was just like whoo. It's one of those where that I was super nervous. I'm sure all the boys were super nervous, but man, like just I can't wait to do that again. We're ready for it. Let's just say that was we were ready to do it then, and then pretty much those live streams were just us letting off all that extra energy still that we have for all the people that we want to play in front of, that we will play in front of. We're coming for you, world.
In that live stream, you also said something that was pretty interesting to me. You were asked about touring and the distance and so forth, but you said, Gordon, you said conquer your home before you leave, and I just thought that was interesting. So now that things are opening up, are your sights on that further distance, or are you still in that mindset of conquer your home?
I mean, I feel like we're always going to try to conquer home. And being a band and being just in our scene, and being in this scene as long as I personally have, I've watched generations in ways like just change. Like here's a new set of crowd, here's a new set of fans, here's a new set, and it just keeps going and going. But the one thing that we've lost, I feel like, is after there's I'm tangenting off and I apologize.
Oh,
But
no.
after the stigma of the creepers and the creepos that go after these young kids, which I think is not cool at all, we didn't see a whole lot of high school kids at shows. And growing up being like, one of those high school kids going to shows, like that was how I went to every local show and all that. And I don't see that anymore. And that was a
Gotcha.
huge, like the shows that I was playing when I was younger that were sold out or packed was because of that younger generation of fans. We don't get that as much. It's more, like people over 21 or just out of high school. And I'm hoping that we can create a safer space to where, like parents feel more comfortable, kids feel more comfortable to come out and just be safe. And that's like, and I'm
Gotcha.
talking, we want to create that around the whole world. with college radio?
I
Like
think
if you're
I think I speak for all 34-year-old men when I say, where are the high schoolers? They should be hanging out with me.
Yeah. Where are they? That's
Please.
find that odd.
Please clip that, record it, and play it out of context.
right, and that's what I'm like. People always, I hope people don't take that out of context, but those are the kids that will tell their friends and go on from there. And they're a lot of the ones that will financially keep you guys afloat too as a band.
Yeah.
But back to what we want to tour, but we want to tour right. We don't want to like, go out and like break our bank, be messed up on,
Gotcha.
all that crap. We want to go out there and just do it right. And I think this whole pandemic has kind of led us to that, to where it's like, okay, I think we can start looking into where we can go, what's the best option. But conquering home is always the first thing. And I always say that for any band that's starting out, it isn't about, oh, let's start a band and go on tour. I mean, you can do that,
Mhm.
but I mean, I'd rather sell out my home venue and then want to leave because I've already done this, like you look at it as like, we can sell this place out. We do well here. We should probably go somewhere else. Let's go, here,
Mhm.
couple hours this way and see if we can do it there. Oh, let's do it. And then just kind of bridge out. I think that's where a lot of up and coming bands, they lose that because they see bands go on tour and touring is fun. I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry, guys, but touring is all cracked up is what you think it is. It's extremely hard. You get zero sleep. You're broke half the time. But when it all does play out, it is the funnest thing you'll ever do. And I can admit that I am 100% addicted to music and touring. And it is the funnest thing. So if you do have the chance to do it, I highly recommend it.
No, I just thought that was such a cool, interesting statement because you hear so many of bands are like that focus on big cities, like, oh, I want to do LA, New York, Chicago, and I just heard you were like, yeah, I just want to conquer my hometown, and I just thought, oh, that's so different, that's so cool, that I just had to ask you about it.
Oh, heck yeah. Sort of a small tangent off about high school kids. God, now I sound like a creep.
Don't worry, I'll put for Evan's comment. I'll put the screenshot up of the Dazed and Confused high school scene.
Perfect.
But well, since we're speaking of touring, though, what has been your favorite city to play a show in?
Favorite of all time. I mean, I love San Diego personally, but as this group, we haven't actually got to go out to Portland. It would be the furthest we've gone out
Gotcha.
as a band. Because
I
we're just
wasn't
trying to
even there
conquer
for
our
that
home.
one.
I played bass for that one.
Well,
Yeah.
I think everyone has played bass in the band at some point, right?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I think
Wow.
In ways, like Taylor records bass here and there, or did prior to.
yeah.
Well, looking into the future, we talked about the light at the end of the tunnel. Things are getting better. Things are opening up. What city have you not played in, but you're excited to?
You better say New York.
Oh, okay. New York. I love walking up and down stairs with my bass gear. It's really light and conveniently shaped.
Hey, at
Well,
least
as
you're
long
not
as you
carrying
play
up
the
drums,
Gramercy.
right?
What?
At least you're not carrying up drums, right?
No, I gotta help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta be a good guy, man. I'm not good enough on my instrument to be that much of a dick.
Gotcha.
I would love this band to come play the Gramercy Theater. That place is beautiful. I'll play the downstairs, a very small stage.
That'd
Would
be
love
tight.
to.
I want to say Gainesville, or like
Gainesville.
Wow.
somewhere in northern Florida. I want the opposite culture from Washington. Like if I'm leaving Washington, I want whatever the opposite of Washington is, and I feel that that is northern, non-coastal Florida.
Wow.
And if anyone can refute that, I'd love to talk about it.
Well, I was thinking,
All
if
right,
you
so
want
we're-
opposite of Seattle, you can be like, I don't know, it's like Biloxi, Mississippi or something.
That's very close.
There you go.
Okay, see, here we come. I mean, there's that. I like completely lost my train of thought of that spot in Florida that we like my other band used to play all the time. That isn't exactly that like northern Florida spot.
Yes.
That Roman Reigns is from there, from WWE, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. So wherever Roman Reigns lives, which sucks. No offense to anybody that lives where Roman Reigns is from. He's the big dog, so watch out. But still, it's a very interesting place. But holy smokes, still a killer spot to play shows. But it is day and night, much different than Washington.
Yeah, dude, I'm a fan of sunshine and chaos, so Florida's the place for me.
Nice.
It's that where you'll start sweating before you even start playing. So you'll pick up your bass, put it on, and be like, "What the hell? Why am I already wet?"
Oh,
I want to get
so
another song from you guys. Can you tell us about the song "Love"?
The song, it describes itself. No, this is the second song that I wrote for the band. So I wrote 2 songs to start it off to kind of get the hype and to try to find members for the band. And I wrote "Take Me Home" and "Love." "Love" was written about my partner Emily, because I love her, and it's one of those where we wrote the song. And if you listen to the original version of it, I sing in a very low register, "Let the rain fall," and I had just started singing again. I was a deathcore kid that just got done. I just got kicked out of a band I was in, and I had been touring most of my life. And I was like, I'm gonna start singing like Matt Skiba because I love Alkaline Trio, and Love just kind of it happened. And our guitar player Taylor, he's like, dude, you kind of struggle with your range sometimes, because I'll be honest, singing that kind of low, and then like I want to sing higher. So we ended up kicking it up to F instead of we were originally playing in an A. And now you have the version that is out right now, actually, that we just released, that kick butt video. And you get what's really cool is you hear Evan's little badass bass solo in there too, which is, I didn't hear that until we recorded it. Like, so we had been jamming the song together. At that point, we had played I think 3 shows with Evan and the band, and I didn't realize that. And then when he's recording it, and I heard it in the recording, because we were like, when we recorded that, we recorded it. They were doing bass and some other stuff in one section of the studio, and I was in a different part of the studio recording other sections of stuff. So when I actually got to hear it when I was recording vocals, I was like, "What?" I was like, "I didn't know you did that."
That's pretty funny.
Which is honestly one of my favorite parts of the song, just because it's a killer fucking. It goes into my favorite lead to play. So, but yeah, Love.
I like that solo too.
It's a fun song.
All right, guys. So we'll play the song for everybody. Here is "Love" by College Radio.
Let the rain fall down upon your face, numb enough to feel no embrace. Yeah, you're waiting here for me, upside down and out of place. A love once lost but now replaced. Yeah,
right, welcome back to the show, guys. Just got a couple more questions for you. I wanted to bring out about your new album coming out. It's coming out on April 23rd, and it's called Growing Pains. And that made me think, what are some of the growing pains or the valuable lessons that you've learned when you were making your first EP to now with the new album coming out?
Originally, so what's coming out on the 23rd is the first song off of a LP that we're gonna slowly roll out. I think I can say that. I'll say that. We're gonna slowly roll out a handful of songs leading into hopefully us coming out and seeing everybody's faces next year. But we planned a bunch of stuff, and Growing Pains is just kind of that start. A song that I had written a little bit before Evan had joined the band, and then we just kind of set it aside, and then me and Taylor again, we changed the octave on it, and that one, let's just say you really get to hear the vocal range that I have, and you'll hear it more too, even in the next one that comes out after that, which is I'll even say this is an Evan song, which it's one of my favorite songs to play, and that's all I'm going to tell. The song's around, and I think everyone's going to love it. Everyone may have heard it already, but I'll just say that. But it's really hyped. Like,
we both do the falsetto on that one. That one's a treat.
I'm trying to work that falsetto more. Let's just say it's a, hey, so who's the girl on this song, you guys? Like, is that a girl? No.
Yeah, we keep getting that lately.
I'm like, oh gosh, I better get used to that question. But I mean, I'll take it.
Do you like her? Does she sound good?
Do you think she's
should be your
hot?
follow-up. Yeah.
But no, it sounds fun. A lot of growing pains. This I know no one's really heard the song, or people not really heard the song, but that's another one kind of dealt with the growing pains that you have growing up. A lot of aspects have to do with substance abuse as well. People will hear, I guarantee you, with the song, people are going to think one thing over the other, like that the song is about a girl or about like somebody else, when really it's about getting fucked up with your friends and going through those growing pains.
Gotcha.
I keep getting that. People always think I write songs about girls. I don't know any girls except my girlfriend, and I already wrote a song about her. I'm done with that. All my songs are just about me, okay? Or drugs.
The most darkest things and the most happiest way to do it.
So what else can your fans expect from the new LP?
More ska.
More ska.
Like
Yeah.
we're more ska.
Yeah, people
more
enjoyed
range.
the last 30 seconds of I Used to Get Messed Up, so we're going to be expanding on that.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
winking in case someone's just listening to this.
But it's more funner, in my opinion. Funner.
Yeah, I would say it's faster. It's
Really faster, actually. A lot faster. There's some fast songs.
there's faster songs, there's slower stuff than we've ever done before. This one's got I would say a bit more range to it. Would you say?
I would say.
Like,
this
this
has the
definitely
slowest song, too. As you
Yeah,
said,
I would say we stretch ourselves out creatively on this one, but we get some really, really fun results. It's really good. I'm not talking crazy. There's not like a klezmer song and a Zydeco song or something. I mean, it's all fun pop punk and power pop and stuff.
what's wrong
But
with
we
Klezmer,
definitely go
man?
places that we didn't go in the first E EP.
Nice.
You really get to hear everybody, if that makes sense. And it's one of those too where we had the time to write it, and it's really fun. It's not something that, and I'm going to say this, it's not something that we wrote and we sat on for years, because I see that quite a bit. It's really hard for me to really digest that. Like, I get bored of something that I wrote 10 minutes ago, kind of thing. Like, so having to sit on something for X amount of time, and I get it, that's the industry, and I've sat on a record for almost 2 years before it got released.
Oh wow.
It's like,
Oh,
can't do it. But what
God,
I
it
love
drives you
about college,
insane.
we just want to keep writing songs and stuff like that. But we wrote this during, like, these songs were written during the pandemic, and
Cool.
you'll get to hear a lot of like, oh, that's what they were totally feeling during the pandemic.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what's really, really awesome, because we get to express ourselves how we do best, and it's through our music. But at the same time, to kind of give back like, people have asked, like, why don't you guys do the newer stuff, or why don't you sound a little more like this? Or so we kind of throw out oh, you want a breakdown? Okay, we'll throw a breakdown in there. You want some little easy core like pop punk style? We got a little of that in there too. You want to run in a circle? Gotcha. You want to cry? Gotcha. I hope not.
I have vivid memories of my sister's boyfriend when I was in high school and they were also in high school, like bragging to me about how cool it was that he went to see Dashboard Confessional and he cried at the concert. And he's like, yeah, dude, me and Eddie went, we totally cried. And I was like, cool, Mark. All right, man.
Well, I don't think you're cool anymore.
It was just
In
a
my
weird
high school-
flex to tell like the 15-year-old brother of your girlfriend.
Right? That's a little bizarre.
Yeah.
See, my friends broke my Dashboard record when I went through like that depressed phase in high school, that like literally went through and broke all of my sad boy records. And I was like, what? It's not dude, what the hell? You could
Yeah,
buy
that's
all
a
those
symptom.
again. I have to go see help because I'm depressed, not break my CDs.
Right?
Jesus. Let me take my medication, asshole.
Well, the last part of the show, what I really like to do is just give the floor to you guys and say, what would you like to say to your fans?
Oh,
keep checking
thanks
this
a
out.
million.
Thanks a million.
Yeah, for real.
Pick up
I'm
our
incredib-
merch. This is something that Evan, this man right here, created.
Oh, that's
So
cool. I
if
like
you
that.
if you do like our merch is mostly done by Evan. Thank you, Evan.
Very cool.
And he
Hey,
makes
no
killer
problem.
designs. It's gold foil. Do you guys like that? Can we bring this back? You guys remember the gold foil days?
How about the puffy paint days, man? Can you get some
Ooh.
puffy paint shirts?
I'm trying.
We'll go retro.
For
But,
real though, just thank you a million billion to anyone who has ever listened to us, even listening to us just because someone said, hey, you got to hear this. This fucking sucks. And then you listen to it even for 30 seconds and you're like, damn, I hated that. You know what? Thank you. I love you and I appreciate you, buddy. That person that I hopefully made up. But like, I'm so incredibly thrilled that we have any kind of a platform and that anyone is enjoying something that we've made. It gives me so much joy to have brought any kind of enjoyment to anyone.
Anybody out there too that's-
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to our record label Third String, Cheyenne and Mike. There's also 2 other members that aren't with us right now. Taylor, our guitar player, we love you. And then Mike, he's probably doing Mike things. He's teasing around. Actually,
He's definitely
practicing
drumming right
drums.
now.
He's
Yeah.
totally drumming right now.
100%.
Oh,
He's
I
probably
talked to him right
live
before.
streaming it too.
But check us out on all our socials. We have a brand new song coming out on Third String 423 called Growing Pains. This is a really fun one. We're really excited. The song was mixed and mastered by John from Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, which is really cool.
Oh, wow.
Engineered by our friend Dane. And this is kind of the next step of like this new college radio. And we're going to get in everybody's faces and love us or hate us. We love you guys regardless. And all our socials, College Radio, PNW. That's all that. New website drops is out now, depending on when this comes out.
Oh, right on.
This will be on YouTube tomorrow.
Oh,
boy.
okay.
You guys
Check out
are
our new
quick.
website,
Yes.
Soon.
which comes out tomorrow. It's actually up right now, but we haven't said that yet.
We've
And
recently
thank you
moved
guys for
to
having
Martindale.
us.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on the show. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you
it.
so much.
Yeah.
Oh, you have fun.
Of course,
Thank you for being here.
Thanks
course,
for
it's a
taking the
blast.
time. Shout out to all our friends out there and all the other bands doing it. And everybody just keep loving each other. Support and love, support, no racism, no hate, equality, all that good stuff, you know.
Hell yeah.
And if you are doing stuff that is bad, like being racist and all that, well, I really do hope you fall and break your neck.
Yeah. And if you have people tied up in your basement or elsewhere in your house, let them out. Let them
Yeah.
out.
Just let them
Let
free.
them out. Come on.
There's no room.
Let 'em
There's
out.
no room for Ted Bundy's. There's no room for Ed Gein's here.
Just let them out. Let them out. That's it. You know, thanks for loving us. We love you.
I don't know where we went. I'm sorry.
All right, man. Well, guys, that's been a blast. Thank you so much. For those at home that are watching, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to the show. The band and the link in the description will have all of their social media links as well. So, guys, appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
Too sweet.
Thanks a million.